Hello, I'm Fred Davies, and today, with the Wholesome Life, I'm going to demonstrate how to muscle test for temple quality foods. This is a tremendously powerful tool to understand what foods are actually temple quality for your body out of all the foods you can eat. There's actually the foods, the way I test it is in three categories. Those that are actually toxic to the body, and I'm using a scale of 0 to 5. So the ones that are toxic are anything that tests below a 3. So 0, 1, and 2 are toxic for my body. I don't actually learn what exact level of toxicity they are. I just don't eat those foods. Those foods that are not toxic but also aren't nourishing us in the exact repairs that we need right now, I classify them as a 3, or use it sparingly. It can be included in a dish that you make. For example, if onions happen to be a 3 for me, I would include it in a dish, but I certainly wouldn't want to eat that as most of what I eat at that meal. Those foods that test out as a 4 or a 5 are then temple quality, and we actually record them as temple quality. I'll show a little bit of how to do this and then how quickly it can go for you so that you have this amazing, wonderful, powerful tool for you to know what your body needs, what you can eat to repair it the fastest. I found that when I started repairing my body using temple quality foods only, and I stopped eating those foods that were either toxic or weren't providing the right nutrients for me, my repairing, I started feeling better very, very fast. Let me remind you of the principle number 2, which we talked about getting the right materials at the right time for our house. And I gave an example in that of getting in used sheetrock because it was cheap when I really needed 2x4s that day. Well, use sheetrock, it doesn't matter what you do with it, doesn't work as 2x4s. Neither does a toxic or a non-nutrient material work for your body when you need to be getting in what you need that day for your body to repair. So how do we determine this? I have a spreadsheet which is available to you with 560 foods that you can test to see what your body needs, whether that's toxic, non-nutritive, really use it sparingly, or temple quality materials for your body. Your body does know this, and using muscle testing, you can find out. So let me demonstrate both how I test and also how I record this test result. And we'll do this by going slowly first through a few and then going a little bit faster just to see how it works. So I have the spreadsheet in front of me, and it starts with fruits on the left. And acacia berry is the first one. So I actually test starting at 3 since I'm not going to eat anything below 3. And if it tests lower than that, I'm not going to eat it, so I just record a 0. Let's start. Acacia berry is at least a 3 for my body. No, acacia berry is a 0 for my body because it's going to be toxic. So let me switch screens real quick, and I'll show you how this works. And it takes me just a minute to switch screens. I need to see the screen switch. Pardon my slowness here. There we go. Share screen. And I'm here at acacia berry. And acacia berry, I'm just going to record a 0 on it and go to the next item. Canned apples are at least a 3, so I'll record a 3 there, meaning that while they're not toxic to me, I'm going to eat very few of them. Dried apples are at least a 3, at least a 4, they're at least a 4 because I got a solid on a 4. And I'll switch back to my video screen so that you can see how that testing is done. We're back, yes. So I tested canned apples. I just test, starting with canned apples are at least a 3. You can see how it's strong. My fingers stayed strong, and so I recorded as a 3. Fresh apples are at least a 3, at least a 4, at least a, and it broke through on 5, which means 4 was strong, and so I record a 4. Fresh apples, at least a 3, at least a 4, at least a, and fresh apples are a 4. You can imagine as I go through this that I can go pretty quickly because I'm now recording things as I go, or you can have someone help you. If you have a spouse or a child there that can help you, you can just go through it quickly and they can record while you're testing. I'm going to go through just 5 or 6 of these so you can see me on the testing side, and then I'll show the end result of a finished list and what we do to highlight it. So give me a few minutes of testing, and I'll test through apricots canned, or at least a 3. At least there are 3 for me, recording a 3. Apricots dried, or at least a 3. Apricots fresh, or at least a 4, at least a 5, at least a 4, at least a 5. They're wonderful for me. For this season, they're wonderful. They are actually the perfect food for my body at this time of year. Avocados is next on the list. Avocados are at least a 3. Not right now, they're a 0. But in the winter, often avocados for me test very high. So let me tie this all together and then show it to you as a completed product and explain again what it can be used for, because I want it to be usable by you so that you can actually get the right materials for your body right now to use each day as you need them. I'm going to also record on this list, once I have completed it, how long it's good for. So let me share my screen again to you and show on how I record it. I've just put a place on my spreadsheet that how long the testing is good for. If you can read that, testing is good for, and I put a certain amount of weeks. This season's testing is good for, and I just test at least 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, 11 weeks, 12 weeks, 13 weeks, 13 weeks. This testing is good for 13 weeks. And then I simply go in and figure out what 13 weeks is from now. And it's probably early September. I'll have to look that up. But let's say that it's the 3rd of September. I record that. You can see I also include, and I've told my body what I'm doing, where I record 0 is toxic, 3 is use it sparingly, 4 is temple quality, and 5 is best temple quality. Now, what does this look like at the end? When I'm finished, and I'm just going to sort this section here that I've completed so you can see how a sorted section works. I clicked on sort, and in Excel, it works the same way. It's just slightly different keystrokes. I'm in Sheets right now, Google Sheets. I select sort it Z to A, or highest at the top, and it sorts that area where my apricots that are a 5 are at the very top, the 4s are next, and the 3s are next. For those things that are 4s and 5s, I'm going to highlight them, and so that they are highlighted on my final printout, so that I can see at the very top the very best foods for my body for this season through the next 13 weeks and what foods are going to be repairing the things that I need repaired. And I'm going to not eat, I'm going to stop eating or not eat at all those things that rate a 0, and I'm going to eat sparingly those things that rate a 3 so that I can get the best nutrition during my repairs. Our food is our foundation, and then anything you're working on to repair with herbal supplements, all of that herb goes into the repair and isn't stopped from being used for the repair because it has to meet the core needs of the body. I hope that makes sense. Let me just show you a screen printout. Let me stop sharing this screen, switch back to video again, and show you a screen printout or a finished one printed so that you can tell what the final product can look like. And I hope that's visible enough where everything is printed, highlighted. It's at the top. You can tell exactly what you should be eating. Now, if you need help doing this, it's just something you're not comfortable with. If your muscle testing is still confusing you, challenging you, then ask me what it would take for me to proxy test that for you. And I do have the ability to do that. I've done it for several clients already that have asked me to do it. And I can give you a quote for how much it would take for me to proxy test those foods. This is one of your most critical things. I encourage you to do it, to just sit down and do that testing, because it's so powerful for you to have a knowledge of what foods are going to make a difference. You can purchase those foods, plan your menus around those foods, and have them be the foods in your diet today that are going to make a difference for you so that you're rebuilding your body the very fastest. Thank you. I look forward to your feedback and to helping you on your journey. And we'll talk to you again soon.